July 2023, just gone 10:56 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. 4th of July this week, and that's why we had very little trading Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday as well. Wasn't until Wednesday night that the things kicked off and the market cooled off, and we were expecting a little bit of weakness after last weekend's video. But let me go through the Emini charts first. We'll go down from the daily chart all the way down to the tip bar charts. Then I'm going to show you some just a couple of the longer term charts, and then finally get to the signals on the tip bar charts. So here we go. Daily chart of the E-mini. You can see we maxed out here with the exhaustion buy pattern on better momentum, and I think it's going to put in a divergence pattern over the next couple of bars. Better momentum puts in a small delay for calculating the divergence patterns, because it's better to have confirmed and good divergence patterns than too many of them. That's probably what we're going to show in the next few days here, with this double top being made here with a divergence pattern. And so we're selling off until we get some support. Not sure where the support's going to come in, if it's going to be when we get the cross here on the daily chart with these thin lines coming down, coming together and finding a support here. But we are in a strong uptrend. The background's in red. That means price and volume are both in an uptrend. And we've busted through triples here. Big things happen at triples, which means we're going to play out till at least pull back to end of trend on the intermediate time frame. So it's just waiting and finding that support area where that comes in, which hopefully it's going to be this week. So we'll go through the time frames, going down to the 135-minute chart first, and just find out when that support might come in. So the move here being led by amateurs with Rambo patterns here at the end of last week, and then this week's activity we had amateur bars almost at the highs here, didn't generate Rambo patterns, but trying to get into those 4,500 level, and I'm afraid they were sucked into the market way too late. The professionals were coming in here, so that was, what is that, 600 points away. We've had a pullback to end of trend on the low time frame, a second cyclical turn after end of trend. That's typically where we have a little bit of weakness. So we're waiting for these kind of levels to come together, maybe on the intermediate time frame when these two lines start to cross, that will find support. 45-minute chart here, blue professional bars taking profits into those highs, amateurs right at those highs. It's not a blow-off move. We don't have exhaustion buy at the highs, so it's not the end of this trend, but we have maxed out in terms of a pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame here. And typically this will sell off until we have crosses here on this highest time frame. These thick lines have to come together. So at some point here we'll put in pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, maybe syncing up with that over the next few days. 15-minute chart here, we add in the extra solid vertical yellow line, which marks the beginning and the ends of the week. You can see last week we had the Rambo patterns right at those highs, and that's what led to this weakness, and that's the sell-off. It was a gap down Wednesday night, I think that happened, and so Thursday morning we opened, the blue professional bars stepped in here at that level, and we're coming back down to test there. We've had an exhaustion pattern and bearish divergence, and this is all white, so showing that we're in weakness below resistance on the highest time frame here. So you've got to go find support on this highest time frame when these lines come together, pull back to end of trend, and maybe an exhaustion sell signal on the downside as well to mirror this one here. So if that happens, that could be a little bit nasty. So let's see Monday, Tuesday, how this plays out. If we get flushing out, an exhaustion selling to the downside where the professionals step in somewhere around this level down to this level here before reversing and holding and going the other way. Tip bar charts, 13,500 tip bar charts, roughly a 20-minute chart. This allows us to look at the day and night session. You can see this is the waterfall move that we got on Wednesday night, I think it was. Blue professional bars at the high here. Rambo patterns, we bounce off those, but then continue the move down. There's a stair-step trade that we got Thursday into Friday. Blue professional bars step in here on the retrace. Got a couple at the end of the week, but maybe this has got to play itself out to an exhaustion pattern. That's exhaustion sell at the top of this move. So that's getting the move going. So that's the amount of volume that's trading, selling it down at that point. That usually has to get captured at the bottom of this move, and so we'd be looking for a reading like negative 30,000 over the next couple of days, and we're only at 5, so potentially that's showing that this has got, you know, some nasty moves on the downside to be made before the bottom is in at this point. But it is support on this highest time frame on the 13,500 tip bar chart. That's important. So maybe we're just going to play through this support level, gets caught by the intermediate time frame when these lines come together, If we get a whole bunch of blue professional bars coming at those lows around 44, 4400, something like that, then that would be good to end this move. But it's not over until we start to see those patterns. So the E-mini is weak at the moment, selling off. So next I want to show you a couple of what I call the daily charts, but they're not really. They're 3 bars in a day session here, and I want to show you these because the Forex charts are really important. So Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar this week bounced off this important level at 66 down here. You can see we had signals a couple of months ago, back in May and June, and blue professional bars, the last blue professional bars that we saw before this sequence were way back here, back at the beginning of the year. So we've been testing into this low at 66. This was a nasty crash down at 65, and then we immediately ramped back up. And then when we come back down, the next time we revisit 66, the blue professional bars come in, and Friday's trade was really strong at the end of the week. So potentially we're busting out of this zone and going to look at 69 above. So that's important on the Aussie dollar. And you can see those moves on all of the risk-on Forex markets as well. So Euro, we bottomed down here with the parity trade. Blue professional bars come in, exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence. We get triple signals and we get a nice ramp from there. And then we come back down to test. Blue professional bars came in here. That level at 106 is super important. We test with exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence. No blue professional bars came in here. But with this little bit of weakness that we had again on Friday, strong move above 110. So that's good for the euro. And the British pound has surprisingly been even stronger than the euro. So here we had almost the parity trade here to 104 on the British pound versus US dollar. Blue professional bars come in with exhaustion sell. We got our triple signals and we can move away. Here we've had a whole bunch of blue professional bars. I talked about this sequence a couple of weeks ago, and we got through that nicely through those blue professional bars. And some more blue professional bars come in here, and we're strong at the moment. The better sine wave trending indicator is red for the bars, showing we're in an uptrend here. So we're looking at 130 on the British pound, which is a big move from that parity level. So I wanted to show you those. Also want to show you crude. So crude, this has been really messy over the last couple of months, but we are looking for the end of this move down here at 65. We've got all these triple signals gone off over the last couple of months, back to February. And so with this week's activity, have we finally tested into this level at 66.5 enough to prove ourselves? That was the first time the blue professional bar stepped in here, and then in here again. We press, and finally are we going to bust out of this range here above 74. So we're close with Friday's activity. So let's see if the crude oil trade finally takes off for a strong move. And lastly, just to show you the 10-year notes here, because this did something I was a little bit surprised about. I was talking about the big blue professional bars ranges, where we had a high here that we were testing. We kept on pushing into it again and again and again, and we don't get through it. And that means we're going to test the other side of the blue professional bars down here. And we came down to almost exactly those levels down here. The blue professional bars step in. We never break into an uptrend, but instead what we do is we crash through there. So this week's activity in the 10 years has been really weak, making new lows down here. So that was a little bit of a surprise that that level did not hold down here. But let's see, we don't have exhaustion sell, we don't have blue professional bars at the lows. So the 10 years are weak, which is showing that rates are potentially still going to go up. So we go, a couple of longer term charts. Let's look at the signals on the tick bar charts now. So first of all, with the Forex contracts on the euro, we had signals long last week and it was really junky down here, but finally we had a whole family of blue professional bars coming at 109 and we've had some strength from there. So potentially that's looking strong for the euro. British pound, again, strong this week. We had signals, nice signals last week. Exhaustion sold, bullish divergence, oversold with a background in red, and we bust above the trailing stop with better pro-ams. That's a triple signal where all three non-correlated indicators come together. And we've busted back up, so that's good on the British pound. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, I'm still long the Aussie dollar, but I was rage trading it this week. I don't deserve to be long. This should have been taken out of my stop, but it was not. I did an extraordinary move with this volatility around 4th of July, which was not nice to sit through, and then finally sold off here. But this level at 62.20 is super important. If we go back to where the signals were generated on Aussie, we had a whole family of them back here. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. So blue professional bars, all the triple signals come in here, and that level is super important. It took us a long time to test and test and test and test and then break into this uptrend. And then with this week's activity, what we did, professionals just crashed it into that level down there, freak everybody out, including me, and it just immediately pogo sticks off that bottom, bang, and rallies 100 pips from there. So I'm holding my Aussie dollar trade, but I don't deserve to be in this. So let us see where the Aussie dollar ends up. Japanese yen, so weird. We don't have any signals down here at the bottom because we never got exhaustion sell signals. It's a whole series of exhaustion buy signals, bang, 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 a whole series of them there. Then finally a little family of blue professional bars step in at 70 and bang, we're away. So it's a shame we didn't get signals long in the Japanese yen. We did get signals short in the E-mini though. At the end of this week, we had, the end of last week, beginning of this week, there's a triple signal there. But it's really based off this exhaustion pattern going on here. So it's not a classic signal up there, but let's wait and see if we get an exhaustion signal on the way down over the next couple of days and get a reversal signal somewhere between here and the 43.80 level to reverse this. But we got a few things to go. We got the blue professional bars have to come in at lows, got to get exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, and we've got to be oversold with a background in red. So there's quite a few things that have got to happen before the reversal signal on the E-mini goes off. 10 years, bad signals here, didn't work out, market broke and then failed. And then back here, we've got a reverse going on. We've got exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, bit of short covering here. So this isn't over on the downside until we see exhaustion sell. So that's the 10-year. Precious metals, gold. So here we go. Triple signals at the end of last week. A little bit of weakness come in here, and then a whole bunch of blue professional bars come in and started to rally, but we've come back into that zone. So that level has to hold. We have to break back above 1930, 35. Silver, what's silver doing? No signals last 3 weeks in silver. And Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin cannot get through 3150. So flash crash here, down here to 29.5. Bang, we rally from there. Blue professional bars come in here, take profits here and here, and crash that back down. But we've got exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, we're oversold, flush patterns. Let's wait and see. If we can get back above 30.5, then we'd be in an uptrend in Bitcoin. It's a question of all of those risk-on trades coming together. We've got the Forex charts seemingly going off with risk-on. Equities, no. That's got to find support and converse and go the other way. And the same thing with Bitcoin. So let's see if that happens this week. Crude on those daily charts, that was looking strong. We had signals last week here that was really nice. We had these bearish short signals going on, but really they were based off that exhaustion buy pattern. And that exhaustion buy was getting us going, busting out of this channel into an uptrend. And a whole bunch of blue professional bars coming at the end of the week. 74 is really important. So we need to see if that continues through 74. Natural gas gave away its gains just under $3, and we're in a downtrend. No signals for the last 2 weeks. And copper, copper, we had nice signals last week, bang, at those lows. Whole bunch of blue professional bars come in here. We test. Signs of strength, blue professional bars. We just need to keep going above the highs of that blue professional bar to show that we're in an uptrend on copper. So maybe it is risk on, all of these charts showing crude, copper, Forex, and eventually the equities markets and Bitcoin all going together. Ags sold off. We had signals last week, nice signal, confirming signal here, but at these lows down here, maybe we'll get a reversal. We got some blue professional bars, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, oversold. We just need to get back up through 500 and a bit to trigger a signal in corn. Soybeans, maxed out here. All those blue professional bars, that whole area killing fields, professionals getting short, and we bust through support and give us a triple signal there. So that's not going to be over on the downside until we see exhaustion sell to mirror the exhaustion buy. And lastly, wheat. Early signal here last week, but we've got a whole bunch of blue professional bars come in here. Exhaustion buy potentially getting the move going, but it's weakened since then. So we need to get back up through the highs of those blue professional bars and bust up through this level here before we get confirmation on wheat. So there we go. Maybe we've got a risk-on trade coming with all of the family of charts coming together, but we need the equities markets to find that support level for everything to signal. It's interesting that the Forex charts have taken off seemingly first in front of the equities markets. So there we go. Hope that was useful to you, and good luck with your trading. this week.